जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना ब्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदना ब्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदना ब्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना ब्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदना ब्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe. Jai Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Vishnupada Paramamsa Parivrajakachaри Stotra Sata Shri Srimati Divine Grace Labai Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramamsa Parivrajakachaри Stotra Sata Shri Srimati Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai. ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए. नवदीप श्री मायपुर धाम की जाए. पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाए. गंगा माँ यमुना माई की जाए. वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जाए. श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाए. श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जाए. द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जाए. द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री गौनिथाय की जाए. The most merciful Lordship Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langaite girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam. Hare Krishna. Commemorating Sri Gaura Purnima, this week we had discussed that we will have classes on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So today we thought of discussing the conversation between Ramanandaraya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is one of the most cherished discussion amongst great learned scholars, because this discussion brings out the super excellence of the devotional service over any other process, and also the so-called bhakti with mixture of karma and jnana is also very clearly denounced. So we'll discuss this. We're not sure how long we can discuss because it's a long conversation. As much as possible, we'll try to discuss this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was visiting South India, he came to a place called Vidyanagara. Now it is Rajamahendravaram, Rajamandri, that is the bank of Godavari river. So there he found one governor of that province was coming along with so many other brahmanas. Where is the sound coming from? So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already knew about Ramanandaraya from Sarvam Bhattacharya. When they had discussion, Sarvam Bhattacharya told him that there is one very great devotee, Ramanandaraya is there. When you go to South India, you please definitely go and meet him. And he is a very great devotional scholar. So Lord Chaitanya remembered that. And Ramanandaraya, when he saw Lord Chaitanya and Lord Chaitanya saw Ramanandaraya, so much affection aroused in their hearts that they just spontaneously got up and embraced each other. And there was tears coming from their eyes out of great affection for each other. But the Brahmanas were quite surprised to see this exchange between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanandaraya, because Ramanandaraya is not a Brahmana. He was not born in Brahmin family. He was born in a Sudra family, but he is a great devotee, great scholar. And also Ramanandaraya is a governor of that province, means a government officer who has to deal with political affairs. So it is not very natural for a sannyasi to go and embrace someone who is dealing with money, dealing with power and position, which already Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared that when a proposal was made to him to meet Pratapadra Maharaj, he did not want to meet Pratapadra Maharaj on the same grounds. Jai Shri Shri Gaunithai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. So, but then he spontaneously embraced Ramanandaraya because he had such great affection for Ramanandaraya. So when all the Brahmanas were surprised to see the exchange, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to go further because they wanted to discuss, but they didn't discuss at that moment because everybody was looking at them. So they receded back, and Lord Chaitanya told Ramanandaraya, this evening we'll meet on the bank of the Ganges. So Ramanandaraya left, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left that evening or the next day morning, I don't remember exactly, but they met again. So Ramanandaraya came, offered his prostrated obeisances in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked some questions to Ramanandaraya. So generally the Lord is the Jnana Nidhi. He is the ocean of all knowledge. So how is that here? The Lord is asking questions to Ramanandaraya. So it is mentioned like this. Ramanandaraya is considered like a cloud. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered like ocean. The ocean, when the cloud is that which is formed by the evaporated water from the ocean, and cloud gets formed. And cloud can go easily to whichever place their water needs to be distributed. So Ramanandaraya, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he has so much knowledge that the Lord can ask questions and pertinently Ramanandaraya can answer these questions. So some of the questions that are asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanandaraya answered, and Lord Chaitanya has rejected the answers, and at last, at one point, Lord Chaitanya accepted the answer. This is of great interest for devotees who want to know what is actually the secret of devotional service. So the first thing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, tell me what is the goal of life? All human beings, what should they do to perfect their lives? This was the question put forward by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Ramanandaraya. So Ramanandaraya said, all the human beings must follow the Vedic Dharma, which is called the Varnasrama Dharma. Varnasrama Dharma means everyone has certain assigned duties that are mentioned in the scriptures, and they must follow very strictly these Varnasrama Dharma. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, all of them have specific duties, and they must do these duties to please Lord Vishnu. Varnashrama acharatavataha Purushena parahpuman Vishnur aradhyate. Actually, following these Varnashrama duties is like worshipping Vishnu. So, every human being must follow these Varnashrama duties. This was the answer given by Ramanandaraya. Lord Caitanya was not very happy with this answer. He rejected this answer. He said, this Varnashrama is simply external. It is not a devotional process. It is simply external. And our acharyas have explained why did he not accept this answer. Varnashrama duties can be done with a mood of proprietorship, in the sense, I am doing certain duties and I must get these results. This is more like a karma mimamsa philosophy. Karma mimamsa philosophy means I am doing certain duties that are mentioned in the scriptures and I am entitled to this result. And whoever gives the result, that person may be God, he may be personal, he may be impersonal, it doesn't matter for me. He is duty bound to give me the result. This mood can be adopted while doing Varnashrama duties. There is no devotional sentiment in this doing these duties. Rather, there is some kind of a pride that I am doing these duties, I must get my result. So this is called karma mimamsa philosophy. That means Lord is not independent. Lord is duty bound. He has to give. Just like the Devatas. Devatas are like that. The Supreme Lord is not like that. Devatas are like that. What did that Devatas do? Whatever sacrifices that are performed by the human beings, Devatas are duty bound to give them results. Devatas cannot say, I don't like you. You cannot say that. Just like, a government officer, if you put up an application to a government officer for a certain thing, the government officer cannot say, I don't like you, get lost from here. He cannot say that. He is duty bound to respond to us. Similarly, all the Devatas are duty bound to respond to us. When we do certain duties that are mentioned in the scriptures, they have to give us result. But that's not the case with the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is completely independent. You cannot demand, Supreme Lord, that I have done this, now give me the result. So Lord Chaitanya rejected this Varnashrama Dharma because it gives a sense of proprietorship. It is quite external. It has no devotional mood or sentiment. So that is why Lord Chaitanya did not approve. He said, tell me something better than this to Ramanandaraya. Then Ramanandaraya proposed another proposition. What was that? He proposed Karma Mishra Bhakti, quoting a verse from Bhagavad Gita. He said, Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kuruswam mad arpanam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever charity you perform, whatever sacrifice you do, all of that you do as an offering to me. This was proposed by Ramanandaraya to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya did not like that too. So the reason why he didn't like that, it is all directly related to Krishna. Krishna is not saying you give it to a demigod. Krishna is saying give it to me. So what's wrong if we give something to Krishna? There is nothing wrong, but that is not called pure devotion. Giving something to Krishna giving something to Krishna is not pure devotion without checking whether Krishna likes it or not. That's a problem here. Krishna is saying, whatever you eat, whatever you do, he's saying, give it to me. He's saying, whatever I like, whatever I eat, you give it to me. He's not saying. Whatever you like, you give it to me, he's saying. That means we have certain attachments to do certain things, and by doing those things, we get entangled. But if we offer those results to Krishna, we get liberated. So out of great concern and love for the living entity, Krishna is saying, whatever nonsense you do, give it to me. I will purify it. That's what he's saying. Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurusvam adarpanam madarpanam. So Lord Chaitanya did not like it. He said, where is devotion to Krishna? You are not even considering what Krishna wants, what Krishna likes. It is like called karma arpanam. Karma arpanam means you are giving your karma to Krishna, because that karma will bind you if you do. So as a checkout counter, Krishna has become a checkout counter. When we go to airport, we check out the luggage, isn't it, through the scanner. Only when the luggage goes through the scanner, it is allowed to put it in the aeroplane. Similarly, we also use Krishna like a checkout counter. I will give my karma, you purify it, I will be safe. So that conception is there in this Yat Karoshi Yadasnasi verse. So karma arpanam is something like giving juta to Krishna. Karma arpanam. I enjoy it, I got it now, I will give it to you. Some portion of it I will give it to you. That is called karma arpanam. So it is not a devotional process, it's not a pure devotional process, rather it is a mixed devotion. Mixed with what? Mixed with fruitive result. Karma Mishra Bhakti it is not Suddha Bhakti. So Lord Chaitanya did not approve it. He said, Aage bado, go forward, tell me something better. So then Ramanandaraya proposed another verse. Since you are rejecting this, kindly consider this. What is that? Sarva dharman parichajya mahamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Oh, this is the Charama Sloka of Bhagavad Gita. At least Lord Chaitanya should accept this. But Lord Chaitanya rejected this verse. Lord Chaitanya rejected the verse that was given by Lord Krishna as the Charama Sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Why did he reject that? What is the problem with Sarva Dharman Parichajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja verse? Whenever we are discussing these things, please understand the misapplication of these verses is what Lord Chaitanya is rejecting, not the proper application of these verses. That we must clearly understand. It's not that Lord Chaitanya rejecting what Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parichajya. But there is a loophole in that. What is that loophole? What is that misapplication? This Sarva Dharman Parichajya in this verse, there is only discussion about how to give up everything. Right? Give up your dharma, give up your occupational duty, give up everything for Krishna. But what should you do for Krishna is not mentioned. Only giving up is mentioned. That means Tyaga is mentioned in this. Everything you give up. That means no positive engagement is defined here. Only negative engagement has to be given up. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. So Lord Chaitanya did not approve this. There is no devotional sentiment as such in this. You are not doing anything positive for Krishna, rather you are simply, this is obstacle for me, I will give it up. That is an obstacle for me, I will give it up. I will give everything up. So Lord Chaitanya did not approve this. That means surrendering to Krishna out of frustration and fear is not accepted by Lord Chaitanya. Someone may surrender, but not out of affection for Krishna, out of great devotion for Krishna, out of great attachment for Krishna. Rather you are harassed by material atmosphere, harassed by material relationships, so you want to give it up. enough of it. So that is not very laudable. So Lord Chaitanya did not approve that, because that is not a devotional sentiment. It's a more of a negative sentiment, negative energy. So Lord Chaitanya did not approve this. And Lord Chaitanya said, tell me something better than this. So then Ramanandaraya quoted a verse from Bhagavad Gita, another verse from Bhagavad Gita. What was that? Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samak sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. He said, by cultivation of knowledge, one comes to the bhakti platform, that is better. Brahma bhuta prasannatma means by cultivation of knowledge, what he comes to, what platform that he comes to, na sochati na kankshati. Now he is very clear that I don't want to get entangled in this world, so I don't want to hanker for material things, and if material things are taken away, I don't have to be worried about it. Sochati kankshati. Sochati means worried. Kankshati means desiring. So when material things are achieved, he is not elated. When the material things are taken away from him, he is not worried. So that position is achieved by cultivation of knowledge. So now this verse indicates actually Jnana Mishra Bhakti. The first one is no bhakti only. The first one, what was the first one? Varnasrama. There is no bhakti concept there. Only doing duties. That is why he has rejected it. In the second proposal, the bhakti is there, but it is mixed with karma. So he has rejected it. Third one, bhakti is there, but it is only talking about how things have to be given up. There is no positive engagement. That's why he has given it. He has not recommended that. The fourth one, this is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Means how do you come to this na sochati na kankshati? By speculation. It is not a transcendental position. It is, you don't come to the transcendental position by divine knowledge received from a spiritual master. You have acquired this knowledge by studying books, by studying Vedanta, you come to this point. It is more or like Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabaha. After many lifetimes, one realizes that Vasudeva is everything. He has not started bhakti, but he has comes to the position that Vasudeva is everything. How did you come to this position? I have acquired knowledge so much. And after acquiring knowledge for so many lifetimes, finally I found the root. And the root cause of everything is Krishna, so I will now worship Krishna. Although he is considered as Mahatma, but the process that he has followed to come to that position is not a very good position. Because it is filled with it is filled with knowledge, jnana. So Lord Chaitanya did not approve this. Tell me something better. See, when we try to come to devotion because we are convinced about something, and how we are convinced? Because our senses are convinced of certain reasoning and logic, so we are doing it. The same senses can cheat you. After some time, if the senses are not convinced, then will you give up devotional service? It doesn't depend on your material sense pleasure. Logic and reasoning are very much helpful, but they are not ultimately, they are not the deciding factors for someone to become a devotee of Krishna. For someone to become a devotee of Krishna, one has to be attracted to Krishna's transcendental qualities. Only then one becomes a devotee of Krishna. Then that devotional service is called pure devotional service. Otherwise, I am convinced about this philosophy, so I am coming. Somebody who is more logical than you, he can unconvince you. What will happen to you then? You will give up devotional service. So that is why Lord Chaitanya did not approve this. So then, Lord Chaitanya told Ramanandaraya, tell me something better. You have always been proposing something not so nice. Tell me something better. Then Ramanandaraya told, he quoted a verse from Bhagavatam where Brahmaji was speaking to Lord Krishna. Jnana prayasa mudapashranamanta eva jivanti shanmukaritam bhavadiya varta stane stita shritigatam tanuvan manobhir eprayasi jitajito sya triloke. In this verse, the meaning of this verse is, first of all, give up jnana prayasa. Jnana prayasa has to be given up. In this world, what is most sought? Two things are most sought. What are those two things? Jnana and vairagya. These two are most respected. Anyone who exhibits jnana and vairagya, they are adored by everyone. Oh, great, such a great jnani, such a great renunciant, such a great tyagi. The people fall at their feet and then they do jajekar for those people. So Lord Chaitanya, when Ramanandaraya proposed this, that the jnana prayasa must be given up. Jnana prayasa madapashra namanta eva jivante shanmukaritam bhavadiya varta. He is saying, give up the prayas for jnana, but you will get jnana. By what? If you hear about Krishna from great saintly persons, great devotees, then you will get jnana. This jnana is not out of your prayasa. This jnana is because of your bhakti towards Krishna. So two ways you can get jnana. One is you can do a lot of prayasa, read books and then try to get jnana. Another way to get jnana is Krishna gives you transcendental knowledge. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. That transcendental knowledge is much, much, much greater and better than this transcendental knowledge which is acquired by mental speculation. These are very great truths of application for all of us. How we are getting knowledge is important. Because of reading too many books we are getting knowledge, or because the knowledge is revealed to us in our heart, we are knowledgeable. We have to understand. If the knowledge is revealed within the heart, that is the best knowledge, because that is knowledge of application. This knowledge is only knowledge of theory by reading so many books. So he is saying, when Ramanandaraya proposed this to Lord Chaitanya, Jnana prayasa madapashranamanta eva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya varta. Bhavadiya varta means about Krishna's glorious activities. If a saintly person is discussing and you are hearing with great namanta eva, with great humility you are sitting, sthane stita shrutigatan tanuvan manobhir. How? Sthane stita. Sthane stita means you don't have to change your position. That means, earlier as it is said, in Varnasrama, you try to do this and do that and do that. You don't have to do. Wherever you are, you be there. In whatever position that you are. That means, you are a Sudra, no problem. Remain as Sudra. You don't have to try to become a Brahmana. You conduct your activities, but you hear about Krishna. If you are a Brahmana, you hear about Krishna. If you are a sannyasi, hear about Krishna. Don't change your position. In this world, there is a great eagerness to change one's position and then better one's position, better one's position, better one's position. You don't have to do this rat race business. You just be where you are. Sthane stitaha. But what do? Sthane stita shrutigatam. Shrutigatam means hear. Hear what? Bhavadiya varta. Hear about Krishna from saintly persons, pure devotees. You hear the glories of Krishna wherever you are situated. Then Yaprayasi, then such a person can conquer Krishna. Because Krishna is called Ajita. Ajita means who is unconquerable. But such an unconquerable person becomes conquered by you because of your devotion. What a practical and amazing solution that Ramanandaraya proposed. And when Lord Chaitanya heard this, he was so happy. Now you got into the track. Now you are speaking right thing now. Agekar. Now you go now. Earlier your direction was not good. Now you are into the right direction. Now you say. So this verse is accepted by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the verse for application for people like all of us. So we must give up this tendency to collect information. This is the modern educational syndrome, it is. Information, information, information and no transformation. That is a modern educational syndrome. Collect as much information as you like and process that information. Nowadays you cannot, since you cannot remember all that information, put it in an information machine where you can search it by typing it, called Google. Right? Now everybody, whatever they want, they just type it. When they type it, so many recommendations come. And you are not sure what amongst those recommendations is the right answer. It may be all of them may be wrong answers. So, it is not at all recommended to go to an information machine. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta or tadvijnanardham sagurum eva abhigachet. So for knowledge and realization, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master, a saintly person, and serve that saintly person. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. This is the right method to acquire transcendental knowledge. Not searching from an information box. So today we have invented an information box and then we are trying to search it, which is going to fail. So give up this mentality of jnana prayasa. In fact, there is no prayasa in bhakti. There are two kinds of prayasa: jnana prayasa, karma prayasa. Karma prayasa means doing bhakti for gaining materialistic results. That is called karma prayasa. Jnana prayasa means doing bhakti to get some knowledge. That is called jnana prayasa. So both of them are condemned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are not called Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti starts from Shravanam. Shuddha Bhakti starts from hearing the glories of the Lord from a saintly person. That is where Shuddha Bhakti starts. So it is so important, and that is the very thing that Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Maya sakta manah prardha yogam yunjan madashrayaha asamshayam samagram mam yadha jnasyasi tachrunu. You hear about me, then you will know me fully well. Today, the most unfortunate thing in our general society or any other society, that people are not interested to hear. Hearing has become a ritual. People don't hear with heart. People don't hear with relationship. People are hearing just like sthanos, they sit. Some kalakshepam is going on, we'll sit, that's all. And what will you get by hearing? Such hearing, you'll get, at most, you can get some pious result you will get. But your relationship with Krishna will not be opened up by hearing like that. So hearing must be done with relationship. Relationship to Krishna, relationship with the person who is speaking about Krishna. One must actively seeking loving relationship with Vaishnava and Krishna. Then transcendental knowledge will be revealed in the heart. Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha teve tata gurau tasyete katita hyarta prakashante mahatmanaha. These are the secrets of devotional service. And we don't apply these things and try to go some other way, then we will be finished. We will never get it in truth. We will think it is something, it is like a phantasmagoria. We will imagine that I am doing bhakti, I am getting realization. But that's not realization, that's not bhakti. It is just an imagination. So actual bhakti will come when we hear from saintly persons with utmost attention and submission. Then it is possible. That is what Lord Caitanya approved. So give up this mentality, jnana prayasa, give up this mentality. So when you are hearing, don't hear to download it somewhere else. Many of us also hear for this reason. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 10, and then so all these points I can repeat somewhere else. This point business is not called hearing properly. Hearing must be done with great submission, with great eagerness, with great enthusiasm, with great respect, and with great devotion. That is how one should hear. Now I am not able to hear with this person. Then you find someone where you can apply all these things, and then you hear from such a person. Regularly, constantly hear from such a person. Then realization will develop. We are only complaining, this speaker has this problem, that speaker has this. Actually, the problem is not with the speaker. Problem is with us. You find a person at whose lotus feet you can sit and very happily hear about the glories of the Lord. You find such a person. And then don't leave the lotus feet of such a person. Why are you complaining? There are no such people. You don't have a desire to hear. That is why you are finding no such people. You have desire, you will find such person. Sages of Naimisharanya heard for 10,000 years. They didn't say, Sutta Goswami, enough of Bhagavatam class, can you put somebody else in the Bhagavatam sthana? Did they change? Did they ask for a change? No. Similarly, Maharaj Parikshit was hearing from Sukadeva Goswami with rapt attention. For 7 continuous days and nights he heard. He didn't even go for a nature call. He didn't ask. Narada is here only. Vyasa is here only. Parashuram is here only. For a change, please sit there. Let them speak Bhagavad. When I say these things, people don't like. I know. It is kind of an antithesis for our present society. But this is actually the fact. We must find a person from whom we can constantly hear enthusiastically. Then all these negative attitudes in our heart will be replenished. They will be completely cleansed up. We will be cleansed from hearing from such person. From a qualified person. We should hear from a qualified person. That is exactly what Lord Caitanya is recommending to, he is approving when Ramanandaraya proposed that. So, then he said, now that you have got into track, now agekar. Agekar means now you move forward. Now, from here on, the direction is in the devotional direction. So, by hearing one can develop bhakti for Krishna. Just like the example that was given in the Bhagavatam, Rukmini Devi, she only heard about Krishna. She never saw Krishna. She heard about Krishna from saintly persons, from childhood. So she developed so much attachment for Krishna that she did not want to marry anyone else but Krishna. Although there was so much pressure, force from the, from the father, not from the father, but from the brother. The brother was dominating so much that even the father has to agree to the brother's demands. And then they wanted to give her in marriage to Sishupal. So then Mother Rukmini sent one Brahmana as a messenger to Krishna and told Krishna, she wrote a letter to Krishna, my dear Krishna, from childhood I heard about you and I don't want to submit to anyone, I don't want to give myself to anyone other than you, my dear Lord. Kindly rescue me from this situation. So Krishna came, Krishna rescued her, Krishna married her. The point is that it is mentioned by hearing one can develop such an attachment to Krishna, as much attachment that Mother Rukmini has developed for Krishna. It has that much potency. Hearing from right persons has that much potency. Great attraction for Krishna will develop. Great attraction for Krishna. And that is what is actually the seed of bhakti is attachment for Krishna is actually bhakti. Prema for Krishna will be evoked in our heart. So, Ramanandaraya was proposing this. Then when Lord Chaitanya said, Aage kar, go forward. Then Ramanandaraya said, this prema towards Krishna, when you hear, you get prema for Krishna. That prema is expressed in various ways, in various levels that prema is expressed. And one of the level, see, simply hearing, you get admiration to Krishna. When you hear, you get admiration to Krishna. But that is only hearing but not doing anything for Krishna is called a Shantarasa. Shantarasa means, you have appreciation for Krishna and you're always eager to hear about Krishna. But move little forward. What is that little moving forward? You want to serve Krishna, accept Krishna as the supreme master and enjoy serving the master. Such a transcendental master that I have got. Now let me serve Krishna. That is called servitude, dasya rasa. Then one moves from shanta to dasya rasa. So Ramanandaraya proposed this, and Lord Chaitanya said, yes, very nice, but tell me something higher than this, he asked. So when he asked this, then Ramanandaraya said, although dasya rasa is there, although service to Krishna is evoked, but still there is some kind of a little fear is there. What is that fear? Fear means not material fear. When we meet some great superiors, we don't just, act as we like. We are a little careful in approaching them, in serving them. So that fear has to go away. Rather, great fraternity means friendly nature has to come. Then the love got to another degree now. So, from Dasya to Sakhya. This rasa, Sakhya rasa, when in Sakhya rasa, you see Krishna as your friend and see yourself as Krishna's friend, see Krishna as your friend. So there is more intimacy. There is no fear, or there is no awe and reverence like that. The awe and reverence worship is Lakshmi Narayana worship. One approach Lakshmi Narayana. You cannot say, Narayana, how are you, my dear Narayana? Let us shake our hands, put your hand around Lord Narayana's shoulder, and then how do you do? You cannot do that with Lord Narayana. You have to, with great respect, like father, mother, like Lord, you respect with great awe and reverence, you worship Lord Narayana. So that is servitude, that is dasya. But Sakhya is not possible with Lord Narayana. We are talking about all people in general, all the souls, not for special people like Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi may have a friendly relationship with Narayana, conjugal relationship with Narayana, but not all the living entities. All the Vaikuntavasis, they have only, at best they can have dasya rasa with Lord Narayana. So then Ramanandaraya told, next is fraternity, that means friendliness towards Krishna. Then Lord Chaitanya said, Aage bado, more, tell me. He is now so much excited. He wanted to hear more. Then Ramanandaraya said, then there is another kind of love towards Krishna, which is even greater than fraternity or friendly love, and that is paternal love for Krishna. Paternal love means motherly or fatherly love for Krishna. Parental love for Krishna. In this parental love, Krishna becomes so much surrendered to or dependent on his mother and father, like it is said that Krishna became so much surrendered to Mother Yashoda that he felt that if Mother Yashoda does not give prasadam, he will not be able to survive. So he goes to Mother Yashoda crying. So it is said, the love for Mother Yashoda for Krishna is supreme than even love for Krishna by Lakshmi Devi or any other personalities. Mother Yashoda's love is called supreme love for Krishna. So parental affection, that you consider Lord as your child and you supply all necessities to the child. So there were many instances in Srimad Bhagavatam described in Vrindavan, how both Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, even though Krishna exhibited supernatural activities, they denounced that, you're all exaggerating. This fellow, this boy, he will not be able to survive. One day if we don't give prasadam, he will be, shaky. What are you talking? He is such a great person. You are imagining. So their parental affection for Krishna is so much that they are not able to see him anything other than their dependent child. This is very great love. This affection for Krishna is very great affection. So then Lord Chaitanya said, that's all right, but tell me something higher. So when he told when he requested, then Ramanandaraya said, but there is another love for Krishna which is supreme than all other loves, and that is conjugal love or madhurya bhava towards Krishna, which the gopis of Vrindavan have for Krishna. They did not care for any social norms in loving Krishna. Just to give pleasure to Krishna, they have broken all social norms. If they have to come to Krishna in the dead of the night, leaving their parents, husbands, etc., they came and they danced with Krishna, just to give pleasure to Krishna. Here we must understand the difference. The difference is that one may do that for one's own sense gratification, but one may do that for the beloved sense gratification. So these gopis, they did that not for their own sense gratification. They did to give pleasure to Krishna. As soon as Krishna blows the flute, they would simply run from wherever they were. So this love for Krishna is called conjugal love or madhurya rasa. And then Ramanandaraya explains, in these development of these rasas, for example, Santa rasa means great admiration for Krishna. But in dasya rasa, both admiration is there, servitude is there. Both are there. But in Sakhya rasa, admiration is there, servitude is there, friendship is there. Three are there. And in Vatsalya rasa, great admiration, servitude, friendliness, and a sense of dependency on Krishna is there. Or Krishna being dependent on them is there. Parental affection is there. So which is even better. So as this rasa is progressing, all the mellows of the other rasas are included in this rasa. So similarly in Madhurya rasa, when Krishna is loved by the gopis, they sometimes joked with him, they sometimes chastised him, they sometimes served him like menial servants. So all these rasas were exhibited in the Madhurya rasa. So that is why this Madhurya rasa is considered to be the supreme, supermost of all the rasas. So this is the conversation, and then further conversation is there. I don't want to get into, because among the Madhurya rasa, there are many great devotees who had that rasa. Amongst all these devotees, Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is considered most extraordinary, unique, and she is considered to be the greatest devotee. And even in Madhurya rasa, there is Swakiya Madhurya rasa and Parakiya Madhurya rasa is there. Swakiya Madhurya rasa means within rules and regulations of marriage is called Swakiya Madhurya rasa. Parakiya Madhurya rasa means outside the marriage. So here on, our mind will not be able to accept it, because we are very tiny, we are very lusty, and all these things, if we try to discuss, our mind gets disturbed. So this is for the liberated souls, not for conditioned souls like us. So this was the conversation, and this conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Ramanandaraya is considered one of the greatest conversations amongst the learned circles. and it is recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Great acharyas have given commentaries on this conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Ramanandaraya. And right from a very, very ordinary conditioned soul, how one can go up to the Madhurya Bhava towards Krishna is very, very, very systematically explained in this conversation. So this is the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanandaraya. And we can remember this conversation and see what kind of great personalities were there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What kind of discussions that they have had at that time. Whether it is Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Haridas Thakur, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, greatest scholars, number one scholars at that time, they were associating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Ramanandaraya, all these great personalities, they were with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They had very, very, very intimate discussions, and those discussions are these kinds of discussions. So I'd like to stop here. Anyone has any comment or question? All right. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.